Last time on Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney.
That evening, Kristoph and I had dinner.
There we go.
Did somebody say dinner?
Not you, Smith! Get out!
Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoph left.
Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bull Club the night of the murder?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. I threw the card inside the bottle.
The murder weapon? I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in there.
I did put it in that bottle.
Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out? Oh, and a sixth person could have helped.
Oh, you with your villain knob, turn it down a bit. Turn the villain slider down.
Push him harder, Justice. Break him.
Oh my god.
It's kind of getting a bit bloodthirsty.
I've already told Mr. Payne this is not a divorce court, and it is not a bloodbath either. It's not a bloody
Why do you have to bring that up?
Will you keep going on about her? Anyone would think you were still in love with the woman.
I am! Yeah!
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Please calm down.
Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Kristoph, Gavin, and Shady Smith may have met? Here I was, all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hole?
Does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Let's just say I had a reason for doing that. Recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. I recorded our conversation.
That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good.
He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him.
You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china pate?
How did he know? When did he see this bone china paint?
Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head?
I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
Use it wisely, and the game is yours.
The missing fifth ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Ah, yes, this mysterious fourth person, who would conveniently be the real killer. What possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand?
My reason is this.
Is that an ace?
Why, it's got blood on it. Oh dear.
What?
Oh, that twitch.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Disillusion Plays Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, where we play the games and do the voices.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I'm Pete.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Taylor.
Nice. And just before we hop on into the video, you guys know what to do. If you'd mind just hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and ring the bell.
Yeah.
And if you still enjoy other stuff that we do, we've got plenty of other content to check out. So why
We
don't you try
have.
another video? See what else we've
Oh,
done.
we sweating.
Although that introduction sounded really smooth. Did you have like a couple of practice attempts before that?
I don't know what you're talking about, Taylor. I don't know why you'd bring that up. It's honestly like you're trying to draw attention to something that clearly didn't happen.
We just
Wait.
need a blooper like video of intros.
Why? But there'd be nothing on it. So
Well, I
why?
was gonna say
why?
the blooper video typically is just our normal introduction.
Well,
Wait,
there is
let me get in character here.
Oh god.
Ahem! This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
You didn't need to know.
Yeah.
Could this be? Could this be the missing fifth ace?
Oh no.
Oh dear. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, the
Inconceivable.
twitch.
How could you?
The twitch.
What are you doing with that card?
Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset?
Because he's guilty.
Upset?
Just a-
Who's upset, Justice?
It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl.
Hey, that ain't nice.
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 Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bull Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade, after all.
Objection! No. Impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud.
A fraud? How can you be so sure?
What?
I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
What if it
I
isn't-
honestly don't know.
I do. I have an idea. What if it's not the victim's blood?
Oh.
That would be a reason to take the card away. Because if you've been careful in every way except for bleeding somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head.
Or maybe my thing's not. Maybe it's not that.
Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards?
I suppose.
The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Objection! Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible.
I like how he's slowly becoming more Von Karmery. It's like, objection! Like,
I beg your pardon. I beg your
Oh?
pardon. Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence.
Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question.
What are you talking about?
You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see.
Objection! This is baseless conjecture. Baseless!
objection! Oh no, that's me.
Objection!
God dang it.
Oh, I assure...
Is he just calling him based?
Oh, I assure you, it's quite based.
What?
Because you're so
Based
basic.
on what? I think it's cringe myself. No, it's based. Cringe, based, cringe, based.
Mr. Wright, are you all right? You seem to be having a conversation with yourself.
What on earth does any of this mean?
I think my voice actor's just having a bit of trouble keeping everything straight.
He's trying to keep the Tourette's in check,
Oh,
Right.
no.
which I
It's,
apologize. Sorry.
You should.
That's mean.
It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo,
Yes?
try picturing the scene of the crime in your head.
Okay, my mind palace.
Let me
wow.
go into my 3D
Whoa.
vision
Oh, wow, okay.
on the DS.
Oh, jeez.
That would explain the frame rate of 10 frames a second.
Well, because it's a video, not actually 3D.
The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene.
Well, yeah, because if the card is in the victim's hand, how did the blood get on it? Because if his head was leaned back and the blood dribbled down in the back of his head, well, his hand would have had to have been like behind his back.
Well, what is it?
Unless I'm completely wrong and it's an obtuse thing.
Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? Probably number 2, I would imagine. The victims? The killers? The witnesses? The second witnesses? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card?
That bloody card.
Bloody card.
And I can't save it now, so we need to make the right decision first. So you think number 2? Why?
Because Kristoph is claiming that he was outside of the room.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so he's claiming he was looking through the window.
So But why?
But
what's that? Why is that relevant to the blood on the card?
Because it's saying whose position doesn't make sense. Because it shouldn't be Phoenix and it shouldn't be Olga. Basically, the only person who would have been behind him or potentially in a position for blood to land on the card would be number 2, Kristoph, I think. Why it goes from 2 to V to W to K, though, is very curious to me.
Victim, killer, witness.
Yeah, but then what does 2 mean?
Second witness.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. It should just be W2, surely.
Well, there was a drop of blood. Whose position doesn't fit? I mean, we can try that.
Because... Obviously, Olga planted the card. Obviously, Nick found it in his pocket, so Nick
She didn't plant that card. She planted the 5 of something. She planted a card that wasn't an ace.
She planted a bad card in his pocket so
sorry.
that when she dealt the 5 aces, Shady or Shoddy or Shibbity Doodah would be like,
call him out on it.
Oh, you're cheating. And then they pull the card out and it would reveal that, he had a bad card in his pocket, so he must have swapped the ace with that one.
Yes. Yeah, so that's not relevant. I'm just a little confused. I don't know. I just think it's weird with him saying that about the card in his hand, but then like how the blood got there.
Well, Clavier, if Clavier is the killer, then he needs to be in the
Excuse
room.
me, my name is Kristoph.
Kristoph, sorry,
Clavier's his brother.
Wrong brother.
all right. Okay, are we confident we're going to say that it's Kristoph?
Kind of, but...
I mean, honestly, I'm a little flustered myself. Take that! The second witness's position is the problem.
Second witness? That would be Mr. Gavin, yes?
The second witness's position is far less problematic than yours right now, Justice. Or perhaps perilous is a better word.
I cannot see what the bloodstained card has to do with the second witness's location. I'm afraid you... I'm afraid you're more than in peril of penalty this time.
All right, I'll save it now so we don't have to suffer anymore. But we have besmirched our perfect record, by the way. I'd just like that to be known. Your Honor, one more chance, please.
I suppose.
Okay.
Do think it over, Mr. Justice.
So I guess in the victim's position, because, if he's slouched back, how would the blood have gotten on the card?
Yeah, in his hand. I mean, even so, if the card is in his hand, with how he is at the minute, with the blood rolling down the back of his head, how could it have got into his hand?
Right.
So let's try the le victim.
Bloody card.
The bloody card. Take that! Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem?
I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice.
Oh, are we gonna have to try every single position? Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him.
Ah!
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards.
Aye, that's right! So, what does this mean?
Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs.
Swivel chairs? Oh, man.
I've always wanted to go in one of those.
Apollo, try turning the chair around
You say that
in your mind palace.
That wasn't me, by the way. So what, like, you click on the...
So yeah, it must have been that way.
The chair was facing the other way.
It would have to be. So, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table.
When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing?
When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. And admittedly, that doesn't look like a swivel chair, but okay.
That would mean the killer turned the chair back around.
Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now that the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction.
Yeah, the idea that Nick reached across the table to strangle him, or like whatever, it's just kind of weird at this point.
Again?
In fact, I guess it's the direction of how he was hit, right? Because if Nick would have had to like go across the room, because he was hit from the front, right? It's kind of his forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hit on the front, so I think someone probably pulled a Jack in the Box and popped out of one of the cupboards and was like, "Pop!" Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? I'd prefer if you didn't. Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime?
Contradicts our new understanding.
I mean, I guess the killers?
I think so.
Like, there's no, because he'd have to move.
You'd have to have been in front of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a bit weird because, like, even like Kristoph being outside the window is sort of not relevant
Well, yeah,
either at this point. 'Cause he's
he's essentially
in a
being
different
accused
room.
of the killer. So
He's in a different room though, so it's like.
is the killer at this point still referring to Nick, or?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah,
so.
I believe so. Yeah.
Nick, you gonna say the thing?
I did.
You didn't say this.
The second the victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away.
I feel like Nick.
Yeah.
Take that! The victim was struck from the front, correct?
Indeed.
Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is.
I would think it would be quite hard, yes.
Objection! Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? That was just what my ex-wife did in therapy when we were trying to work things out, and then she just turned the chair around and then just wouldn't engage with me. Very hurtful, actually.
Could you please try and keep it on topic, Mr. Payne?
Sorry. You know, it's actually funny. I used to be named Winston Well-Adjusted,
Jesus
but
Christ.
then, you know, after the divorce, I changed my name to Payne.
Your Honor.
Excuse me, Mr. Payne, while I pull out the world's smallest violin. Jesus Christ, man, I've told you before, this is not a divorce call for the moment. If you wish to file for an official divorce, come back later in the week.
Nick's just like watching, just like going, oh, that guy. He doesn't change.
This effing guy.
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
Well, what?
There is something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually.
Again?
Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram.
Will it be in... What? But... There's no room to put a mark where the killer should be.
Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else, which I know will be easy for you. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our
Victim from the... That wasn't me.
victim from the front?
I mean, here.
He's got to have been hiding in a cupboard. Surprise attack!
Take that! The killer had to be standing... Well, here!
Objection! You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
Ugh. I thought I was onto something there, too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard.
Cupboard. What do you know?
Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ha!
The high pitch.
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime...
Wait! I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there.
What's this now?
I mean, that's the only explanation. Right, Mr. Gavin? No. Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately.
Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them Have them try to move the cupboard.
They all they suddenly just charge out Team Bailiff, go! They slide down the fireman's poles onto the motorbikes and
for democracy!
That's it, just straight out there, just oh my god, like a special squad.
Judge is putting in the orders on his little thing, the up, up, down, down.
Yeah.
On his stratagem computer.
Yep. Your Honor?
What?
There's one more thing your men should look for.
I've just sent them now.
It's too late.
Please.
Listen, we pride ourselves on a swift dispatch time. They're already halfway down the road.
Oh, fine. Beta Team, roll out. Beta Squad.
It's just and then there's 5 teams there all just tripping over each other because they just have to keep adding more orders.
Please give this to the bailiff.
Yes, I see.
Do you see?
Oh, do.
God damn it. Oh, you made Sarah snort. Oh no. She's not going to be happy with that.
Oh, why?
The unexpected wordsmith is the deadliest.
You've put Sarah out in spectacular fashion.
Why? Why did
So you know what I mean?
me?
I don't know what it is about the do you see. I don't know why, but it gets you, doesn't it? When you're not expecting it, then just do you see?
Oh my
It's
god.
for God's sake.
Wait a minute, do I smell dinner? Wait a minute. No.
He's crossing the boundaries between games.
My god.
Yes, I was just about to enjoy some with Mr. Payne's ex-wife.
You son of a... Well, she's free. She's free and available, so I thought why not?
Yeah, I know she's available. That's part of the problem.
Oof.
Oh my god. Right.
Judge, you do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
I do my best.
I'll do my best.
No, I do my best.
I'll do my best.
But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Poor Apollo didn't get to be the antagonist for longer than an hour.
Really. The game's named after him, and it's back to Nick anyway.
Look at the diagram once again. It's been updated. Changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here. Which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard.
What?
Oh.
Okay, that's not a cupboard. When you say a cupboard, I think of something that's mounted high up on the wall that holds plates.
Well, or small.
That's like
even.
that's like a wardrobe.
Yeah. Cabinet.
Yep. Oh. It's covered the window.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you know? Oh my god.
That frame rate, yo.
It's the CSI.
Yeah.
As you can see, the cupboard was... They were really like...
Oh, cool. We gotta get the max out of this 3D on the 3DS. Yes.
It wasn't on the 3DS.
Was it not?
No. The original DS.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It was the only Ace Attorney mainline game. Okay, I'm going to say that before everyone comes and attacks me with the pitchforks. Okay, let me rephrase. I believe it's the only mainline Ace Attorney game that was developed for the DS. That wasn't developed for something else and imported to the DS. Please don't at me if I'm wrong. You can say it, but don't hate me if I'm wrong.
No
Sorry.
hate, please.
As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Yeah. Now, everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this?
What is it now?
Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact.
Huh? Oh, dang. Oh, dang.
Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is... Dang it.
Once you've eliminated the impossible.
Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
All that remains is what likely happened. Burlock Holme. Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is the victim, the killer, the witness? Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness?
The breakfast? The girl next door?
In the living room with the wrench?
Was it Colonel Mustard in the dining room? Okay.
Do you know that they made Colonel Mustard into a Magic the Gathering card? They made all the Clue characters
Did
into a
they?
Magic the Gathering card.
Ah, I did not know that.
They did a little crossover.
Oh, well, if they did a crossover, then that makes complete sense. I mean, I thought you just meant incidentally they made it, and it's like, okay, that's kind of weird. But if they did a crossover, then, well, of course they did. It'd be weird if they didn't do one of the main characters. So obviously, it's,
They did it. Yeah, they did all of it.
it's probably this guy. Take that! Oh my god, my voice. About this cupboard. About this cupboard. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved?
Sure, why not?
Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs.
Ah!
That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin!
Dun dun dun.
What? What did you say?
Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool?
Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right?
It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. That was the thing that bothered me. It's because, again, when you think of cupboard, it's like they're typically mounted to the wall. So it's not like that's the sort of thing that you could just be like, derp, 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 boop, boop, derp, derp, boop. Like it's freaking magnetized or whatever.
Perhaps it's
not a cupboard.
It's an IKEA cupboard where it can be whatever the heck you want it to be, as long as there's a door on the front of it.
So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court. Exactly where did you witness the crime scene from?
Nick's got a little baby arm there. like it just looks, I don't know if it's just like the way I'm sat looking at the TV, but his arm looks, I know they're trying to do like foreshortening, but it kind of also looks like he's got like a little arm.
Listen, I'm not supposed to be seen from this side. Every other time I'm pointing the other way.
Yeah.
Someone didn't flip the canvas while they were drawing.
No, I'm sure it's just but, excuse me, Your Honor.
I almost.
What would it be? Hang on, it'd be American, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be like a British. It wouldn't be like a British.
Oh, it could be.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Order! This is a court of law, and I will have order!
We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined.
No, Pete. We wouldn't say investigative. We'd say, we've received word from our investigative team.
Investigative? Would they really? Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I'm being dead serious.
They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor.
Oh? And what did they find? Now it feels very weird having an American bailiff and I'm a British judge.
Well,
this is very odd.
well, Your Honor. It turns out there's a secret what the actual...
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay.
Well, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it.
What?
I think you mean to say, Judge, what?
Shut up, you.
It's
Get
like,
out.
holy crap.
You've done your job. Get out.
Oh, okay. The judge's accent's changed.
I know.
So did mine. My accent changed. My accent's changed. What's going on?
yes.
name's
I
Arthur
believe
Morgan.
I mentioned something of the sort before.
Oh my god, if it was the bailiff was
What is
Benoit
happening
Blanc.
right now?
I do say,
Ah,
Your Honor,
dude, clear.
but there turned out that would you believe that there was a secret passage in behind the cupboard.
I believe I mentioned something of the sort before.
Abbreviate.
And I was, dang it,
is
Pete!
not a word.
You stole my banana. I was gonna be like, yes, I was imbreviating the air behind you.
You can't back that off of the bingo cards, people, because it wasn't my banana this time. No
This
cheating.
is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about.
I do remember him saying something about that. And now that he mentions it.
I sure don't.
Nope.
A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law.
I just love how this case is like, it's just been like, oh, you think you know? By the way, boom, extra little bit that you had no idea about. Oh, boom, another little bit you didn't know about. Boom, another. It's just like Jesus. It's like the updated autopsy report, like again and again and again. So, the room has a secret passage. Where does it go?
Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be much of a secret.
I guess so.
The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer.
Well, bloody hell.
Ah!
No, Apollo doesn't get it. It's like,
You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo.
I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said she needed this trump card, that I needed this trump card for the last hand. Holy smokes. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder. Murder. I can't. It just always goes like murmur. And Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something.
Dare I ask what really happened that night?
Actually, I think we can probably figure it out. Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point.
You're doing great, kid. Just you need to try to talk. That's very important. Being able
fine,
to talk.
but I'm fine.
I've got cords of steel!
Dang it!
Sorry.
It's okay. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. Freaking jeez, the bod now?
No.
There, he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then, the chance came, and he took it. Arrgh! I have forgotten what voice I gave Mr. Smith.
It was something like this.
Oh, it was something.
What?
Yes.
Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help.
Miss Olga Orley. Miss
Orley.
Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. It is O'Reilly, isn't it? Because she said it was.
No,
Dang.
oh, wait,
but
yeah, O'Reilly,
She
yeah.
actually said it was pronounced O'Reilly. Miss Olga O'Reilly. Okay.
You said it sounded like
Yeah,
it,
really.
Miss Olga O'Reilly was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer.
And then someone dealt him a hand that he wouldn't ever come back from. Someone wanted him to cash out his chips for good.
Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout.
The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside.
So he turned around himself like, I've been expecting you, Mr. Gavin. He wheeled his chair around to look and... Wablam.
Whack. After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime.
Too bad for him. He didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red.
Oh, oh dear. Busted. Oh dear.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Payne!
Who? What? Yeah, him. Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion.
Suspicion.
Shut up. Believe me.
God's sake.
Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Objection!
I beg your pardon.
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the I mean, to be fair, it is a kind of illegal evidence.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
No.
Yeah, the card.
To put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Legal evidence.
Objection! Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance.
The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking.
How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
Yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were, upside down.
And we have a picture. Where is it? There. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Boom.
Got him. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier.
The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor. I think he might be a bad guy.
Yeah,
I think he might be a bad guy.
Just a little bit of a suspicion there.
Yep.
To see how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo?
Yes?
Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that.
Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to...
Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. British people are really good at that.
Oof.
Is there really another?
Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight.
How about you just say the answer in plain words?
Well, if you want to be the protagonist, you've got to do some of this on your own.
It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions, indeed. Well, Mr. Justice?
Mr. Gavin said that the court and this case demand an explanation. Don't worry. Justice won't leave until justice is done.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court? What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle were upside down?
Take that! It's actually easier to show than to explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor, next to your chair.
Excuse me? On the floor?
Yes. Now, reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair.
Ah, crap.
See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down.
Boom!
Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr.
Every time I do it makes me laugh. Oh, sorry, that's just deeply ingrained.
Honestly, the defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times.
Wow! I can't believe it was that simple!
Recall our dinner that evening, Kristoph.
But
I was drinking my usual juice then, too.
Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon.
I mean, to be fair, it is a bit weird that the supposed murder weapon has no blood on it whatsoever.
Yeah.
order! 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 What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin?
Not guilty.
What?
And just that's it.
Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection.
He's not backing down, is he?
No.
Jeez.
What?
You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof?
The fact that the card isn't in it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Proof? Well, that's,
As I thought. More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. You could say it was
Objection! I wouldn't be so sure about that. This bottle is 200 proof. That means it's 100% alcohol, because that's how it's set up for some reason. What?
What?
Your Honor,
what?
when you initiated the investigation of the Hydeout earlier, do you recall I requested
Yeah. I've updated the
An
autopsy
additional-
report.
an additional investigation?
Ah, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question.
Specifically the right one, I expect.
What are you going to do? Dust that for fingerprints too?
Actually, yes, that was my
I
idea.
would be surprised if any were on that but his. Because I used gloves. I mean,
Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything.
Hard, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, Apollo,
Yes!
why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle?
But why?
Because we've still got one card left to play. Just humor me.
We have a sixth ace up our sleeve.
Mr. Wright.
That bottle will solve this case once and for all. And we'll handle this Joker like a pair of kings.
Nice.
What? That's some bottle.
There's the
Da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da.
Ba-dum.
Da-da-da-da-da. There's something inside the bottle. Boom. Just a
5 hearts.
What's this?
That card. It can't be.
Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony.
Hey!
That really, really unpleasant, smelly person's testimony for a
Wow,
moment.
wait, what a way to treat a girl, pal.
Miss Olga O'Reilly?
No, Prosecutor Payne's wife.
Oh.
Hey! Yes, our little...
Swindling Devochka?
I gotta look up what this means.
Yeah.
Oh, they take their name from the Russian word Devochka, meaning girl. Well,
Okay.
that was less exciting than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay.
Learning languages with disillusioned plays. Yes, our little swindling Devochka.
Oh, she's back.
That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed.
Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
And then he was
Here it is.
and he was confused when we presented the bottle earlier and it didn't have the
Have
card
it
in
in,
it.
yeah.
The 5 of hearts. Is this your card? This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night.
I mean, the only thing I will say is with him saying about it being an empty bottle, it's not specific that it was like anywhere near any of the things that were going on, though, I suppose. I mean, I guess it could have been, how many empty bottles were there? It could have been one of many on the floor, and it doesn't... Does it prove that it was I don't know, maybe?
Shut up, Mr.
Sorry.
Gavin.
You, Mr. Kristoph Gavin!
Uh-oh. What the? Wait a minute.
The lobster? The lobster?
Kaioken. It's the. I guess it's Biggie's.
What the hell did I just witness?
Bloody hell.
Nick's like, I'm used to this sort of thing.
That is all. Mic drop.
Boom.
Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright?
Revenge?
Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the... I just like to imagine she's actually grabbed Apollo's
arm.
hand and is just like pointing.
See, now I'm getting the whole sort of Sephiroth Cloud vibes. Just like, let me just take your hand, Cloud,
Oh, God.
and I will guide you into the night. Someone did a video that made me laugh that was just like everyone's interaction with Cloud, and everyone's just like, they smack him around the head, they bully him and all this. And then it cuts to Sephiroth, and it's always just like, You will always be my number 2, Cloud. I will always be here for you. And he's just like dumps the rose in front of him, and he like cradles him in his arms and all this. And I just thought it was
they
really
were roommates.
That's it. They were
Just roommates.
They were just really best buds. Anyway.
Hey, you still owe me a pizza.
Oh.
Cloud, I'm literally dying.
I wish you wouldn't bring that up. It makes me sad. I like Jesse.
Jesse was cool.
Jesse-
I also like Jesse.
Jesse
I
is-
just the delivery of that is just like you. Anyway, spoilers.
I don't know what
All
Even
I
though
did
she's
was
a bit
point the
thirsty.
finger of Apollo Justice in the proper direction.
Mr. Wright, that was awful.
Shut up. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right?
This is insane! What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? I'm only in the first case, damn it!
Why'd you pan away from me? I hadn't finished speaking.
I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Kristoph Gavin?
Oh, now people want my opinion. Okay, great, fine.
Fine, Mr.
He-
Wright. Ignore him.
He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now.
I see.
Still don't know why he had psychic powers, but you know.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. Didn't he even have a connection to the victim? Did he?
Foreshadowing, I expect.
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add?
Yeah, I do. Boom, got him. I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter.
About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession, to be sure. That's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright,
Yes?
7 years. And you still haven't lost your touch.
Kristoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer.
He's extremely talented, to be sure.
I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo.
Me?
This is a dark time for our legal system.
These are dark times.
A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. Is that the 3 days thing? Is that what they call that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We have to set it right.
Mr. Wright.
Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Ah, different sprite. Oh, you so this might.
Happier now.
Yeah.
Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
Yay!
Confetti!
Oh, really bad confetti. It's like.
Look, we didn't have the budget that Great Ace Attorney had.
No, I
so
suppose it is
tiny
true.
spread.
Dang, yeah, that is just, they're just like little diamonds.
Yeah.
Sort of like, yeah, weirdly, like, zigzagging.
Court is adjourned. Thank God.
Hey guys, it's 420.
Blaze it.
It is?
April 20th?
What? Dearie me.
I just,
Deary
I'm like,
me,
I don't see the
darling.
number. I don't know.
Actually, no,
I'm
the problem
stupid.
is, because in the UK, it would be 20/4, so it's
Yeah.
a different thing.
I mean,
I understood the reference, Taylor.
it's all right. I'm just dumb.
Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would.
I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered the killer.
I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too, today, didn't you? Your ability.
Why do you know so much about my ability that I know nothing about?
That is an excellent question.
Ability?
Yes. Sensitivity I lack. Why are you laughing?
No reason.
Oh, I see.
You'll come to
Because he's so
understand
mean
it.
to Maya all the time. Is
No,
that why?
well, no. I'm just amused about Nick talking about Apollo's sensitivity.
Oh.
He's such a sensitive.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You're much more.
Well.
You're much more sensitive than I am, Apollo.
Damn.
I'm going back to the Cloud and Sephiroth stuff again.
Down, boy.
Soon enough.
Sorry, Taylor.
Wait,
No, that's okay.
I wonder if he means. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true.
It's this weird vibe I'm getting. What was that, Mr. Wright?
You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself.
The answer. Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin.
What possible reason could he have had to commit murder?
Yeah.
Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come.
Huh? Wait. You don't know, do you?
This locket is the key.
Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture was in your who's I
no.
met the girl whose picture is in your locket. I just can't seem to say a I can't even seem to say a single sentence. Your daughter, right?
That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket.
Huh?
I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him.
Wait, but that's perjury. You testified. You said that locket was yours.
Well, possession is 9/10 of the law, and I have it now, so... I said no such thing, actually.
Huh?
I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth.
And that's why I'm the #1 defense lawyer, because I know how to discern between one statement and another. I know when to not put my foot in it, pal. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it?
No. I put the... Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started. Because he couldn't have just taken it and then been like, oh, I'm going to put a picture of my daughter in here. Because it'd be really weird if a stranger had a picture of his daughter inside. That would be strange.
It also feels kind of weird for Mr. Wright, Phoenix Wright, to be like, I like your locket. I like my locket that you're wearing. That's my locket you've got.
It's my locket now.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
That's... You know this face on my hat? Emma didn't give this to me. I stole it.
What?
It's like, this was Emma's hat. It's now my hat. I don't know why Emma
This
has a
hoodie?
hat that says Papa on it, but... Or maybe her dad
This
gives
hoodie
her it.
also belonged to someone else, and it's mine now. Your game, it belonged to you, but it's really mine.
I licked it and claimed it as my own.
You're still just getting started with your career.
Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs.
You'll see. They'll all see. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You haven't seen the last of Kristoph, Gavin.
I'll get
Do
you.
you hear me? Do you hear me, Justice?
I'll get you, Gadget!
Apollo,
Yes?
how about coming to work for me?
What, at the Borscht Ball Club? You mean at the Wright & Co. law offices?
No, at the Borscht Pool Club.
I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it.
I can't imagine that to be true, but
You're just modest, sir. Wait, but didn't you... You're not a...
oh, I turned in my badge. Yes, I'm not an attorney anymore.
But I still own the swishest club in all of Neo San Francisco. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all, was one man. Phoenix Wright.
Ace Attorney, that was my name.
The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts?
I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence.
What?
What?
What? Forged evidence? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty... oh, it was a fake!
Oh.
Well, wait, we don't...
A naughty magician's trick.
Huh. One piece of evidence struck me as odd. It's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence.
Uh-oh.
The card, right?
I mean, probably.
Well, it was given to us by his daughter.
Trucy,
so,
Mm.
I mean, the rest just looked kind of like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I guess so.
Take that! You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright.
Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer.
Okay.
Yeah. So how would he have it if he took it with him?
My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago.
Then, you really...
Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real.
But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney.
Duh. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo?
So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago.
None of that matters much now, does it?
Oh, I see.
Oh.
I punched him. I don't know why Apollo himself had to say it. It's really weird that he phrased it that way.
I guess because he can't believe he's just punched Phoenix Wright, I guess.
I guess.
It's your story from here on out, Apollo. At least for one game. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in, if you like.
Mr. Wright.
Oh, about your uppercut. It needs work. Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little more punch. I was in a fighting game, you know.
Oh my god. And Maya too.
Was she?
What, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Mm-hmm.
She was a support character.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time.
I think they were both also in Project Cross Zone, but that's not a fighting game. It's like a... I don't really know what that is now I think about it. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. You're probably wondering how I got here. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And, at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every
the DLX incident.
Oh, God.
Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law.
Attorney at law.
And this is how my story begins.
And how our episode ends.
Indeed, yes. Perfect timing, I would say, for that one.
Yes.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the first case, guys.
Yes.
Thank you very much for tuning in and
Episode
watching.
18, is it?
Not quite.
No. I know. I'm just being mean.
Yes,
You
you
could
are.
say in the end that justice trumps crime.
Ooh.
Ugh.
On that note, thank you very much for tuning in and watching, guys. If you do like what we do, then please consider giving us a like. Subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell. You'll be notified of our video uploads every Wednesday and Saturday. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for all the new goodness to come out, we've got plenty of other episodes on the channel. Why not go check them out?
Yeah.
And until next time, we'll see you again.
Catch you in the next one, everybody.
And remember, you don't ever want to lose all your chips too early by committing crime. So don't be a joker.